buzz. Hope you're all fierce. Welcome to The Performer's Path, the podcast where we delve into the highs and lows of the performance industry and beyond. If it's using your creative juices for onstage, in auditions, or those in between jobs, we discuss it all with real people in the industry who've been there and got the t-shirt as a gift. By discussing audition rejections and success, we're taking away the fear of the unknown, whilst also giving vital tips for success. So let's tread the boards together in this week's episode. In Áine Curran's first episode, we talk about being emotional and a perfectionist and the pressure that it adds. We also talk about finding the why of the rejection. Why is it painful?
So I remember been dancing literally my entire life, really, since I was like 3 years old. I sort of really remember being about 13 or 14 and I changed dance schools in my local area at that time. And I went to Dame Academy, it's called at the time. It's like really, really great dance school in my area. And I kind of just found good people, and Dina was so amazing. She gave us all these like incredible opportunities. We got to do our like summer shows at the Alhambra in Bradford. Amazing, wow. amazing opportunities. They used to do Disney. We did the Royal Albert Hall. So we kind of had all these like incredible opportunities at quite a young age. So I think that was the first time that I really sort of said to myself, like, I don't see myself doing anything else. Like there just wasn't another option. It was just like, I'm going to go to dance school and that's what I'm going to do. And I sort of remember telling my parents that and they thought it was a bit mad. Sure, the alarm bells of how we're going to afford this came into their minds. And then I was very into my ballet at that time. That was kind of like the driving force for me then. Didn't really know about musical theatre so much. I obviously like had seen Cats and had seen like incredible dance musicals, but I wasn't really into my singing at that age. You know, it was really just dance focused. And then I sort of decided, right, I'm going to audition for these schools. I think I auditioned for about maybe 6, 7 schools all up and down the country. And I got into the Hammond, Italia Conti and Erdan.
Wow.
And
I'm surprised you didn't get in all 7.
I didn't.
Jesus, tonight, why not?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I was so young. I was 16 at the time, which I guess now seems also quite young. If I was encouraging younger people to get into training, I wouldn't necessarily say that they have to go at 16 now. You know, it does seem in some regards quite young. And I think I definitely left quite young as well. But that was kind of just the done thing 15 plus years ago. How wild is that?
You're making me feel really old.
Yeah, me too. Then, yeah, I got into the Hammond and it just felt really right. I remember like the people were really lovely. I just loved the vibe. It felt homely compared to the other schools. Like I remember like, so it will have been the 3rd years when I was coming to 1st year. And they were just all actually really lovely because I think they helped out on the day that we were there auditioning and stuff. I remember like I got a pair of tights and one of them lent me one. Like everyone just seemed really sweet and just got a really good vibe from it. And obviously, yeah, that's where I chose and where I ended up. And I guess because it was in the north, a bit closer to home, I was an hour and a half away from home rather than like 4 hours. Mum and Dad used to come pick me up every weekend, take me home. You know, it just felt a bit more manageable, I think, at that age to make such a big kind of decision. But yeah, I don't really know exactly what kind of spurred me on. It was honestly, there was no other option for me at that time. It was just, I'm going to go to dance school and that's what I'm going to do. And it was just eyes on the prize kind of from that moment forwards. And I think that is something that is really important in our industry because you have to just be all in or all out for me. Like it's so hard. There is no other option really than all in, you know.
So talk to us about your time at the Hammond.
I mean, 3 years at that age, again, now looking back with the eyes that I know, like hindsight is a wonderful thing. I would say like, honestly, some of the best years of my life and also some of the hardest years of my life, definitely. I think just naturally you change so much from like 16 to 19. That's like quite a big turning point in your life. You're trying to discover who you are, but you don't know who you are really, you know. You've gone from this like little bubbly teenager into this big wide world, meeting so many new people, really learning a lot of new things. And I guess the insecurity is probably quite high, but you don't really understand your emotions and those things maybe in the way that I do now. I didn't have the tools then that I now have, I guess. And a lot of those things just come from life experience, I think. But I made definitely some friends for life and I still came in contact with so many people from that time in my life, like hugely. So it was obviously really pivotal for me. And I think it definitely has shaped my career and my life in so many ways, like hugely, not even just my career, but my life. I think the struggles will have been, just kind of trying to find my way in this world. And I think Hammond for me was tough because it was, such a ballet school when I went. And I think our year was the first year we did the musical theatre course and the dance course. So I was on the dance course when we started. And I remember by like start of third year being like, "Oh, I should have been on the musical theatre course the whole time in my mind's eye." But I kind of really had the ballet focus in my mind, but sort of realizing that wasn't really where my heart was. And I really wanted to sing and I wanted to act and do those things. But actually, like now I look back and I think like how amazing that I had that training, because every part of training throughout the next 2 years after that has led me to this point now. So like I had that amazing dance foundation. I mean, we had such a small year compared to the amount of students there are in years now. I think by the end we had like 22 in our year or something. Like
It's not that big now either. I think it's
yeah.
I think we're on 32 or something like
Okay,
that.
that's great.
Yeah, they keep it really small so that they get all that attention.
That's it. And I feel like that is something that we really, really had so much attention on us. And that was from year one, really. We were incredibly pushed, which I think doesn't always happen, and especially not in schools where they've got 120 kids per year, which is insane.
I don't know how
Because
they cope with 120
yeah,
per year.
you just can't. How do you learn who everybody is and what they need and
Yeah.
how to push them in the right direction? So yeah, I think it's just a lot of discovery happening at that time. And yeah, you're sort of learning who you are as a person and who you are as a dancer and how you're going to fit into this industry that is already up and running and happening. That's quite overwhelming.
And how did you deal with that overwhelming feel of it when you were in that third year position?
Probably not very well, quite honestly, at the time. Again, if I knew then what I know now. And I think now mental health is such a big topic now, and we talk so much more openly about that, which is amazing. I think that was still quite taboo at the time, as in like not even taboo, but we just didn't really talk about it. We didn't really know how to handle it then, I don't think. And when I look back, everybody will have been struggling with something, every single person. But you sort of maybe only knew about the things that were really bad or, that people were openly really struggling with. So I think, again, in hindsight, we would definitely handle that a lot better now. But I think at the time, probably just having such a strong support network in terms of the girls around me and the people in our year, it did really bring us so close together. I remember like even just going back into the changing rooms, maybe having a little cry and a little offload. We really did know each other so well because we spent 9+ hours a day together. That was just inevitable. And I think if we didn't have each other, I'm sure it could have been a really different place. So I think at that age, having that support network was really important. And again, like it wasn't a time of like social media really, or like phones and videos and the way that the world is now. And I think that was a blessing really, because we kind of only had the comparison of the people in the room, which were your colleagues, I guess, and your friends. And even that was enough. You're obviously always going to compare. But yeah, to also be able to have each other as like a bit of a unit and a bit of a support, I think was the best thing at that time. Whereas now I think we're so much more aware of the tools that we have, mindfulness, and trying to implement those things. If I could go back and like tell my younger self those things that I know now, like, gosh, it'd be so useful at that time.
What would you tell yourself?
You're going to be absolutely fine. Like, it's literally going to be so fine. It's such a short period of time, but also such a pivotal period of time. But you're doing everything that you can. Like you're literally working to your absolute maximum every single day.
Do you
And
remember anybody telling you that?
yeah, I think we were probably told that we worked hard.
Yeah, you were.
But but yeah, maybe it's just like hard to remember those things, because it was such an intense environment.
I remember you being an extreme perfectionist, so much so that you couldn't hear what was good.
Yes,
So,
that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, and you used to get very, very upset.
Yeah.
Has that changed?
I'm definitely still like a hugely emotional person, like that's just by nature. But yes, definitely changed.
You're emotional because you're so passionate, though. You're
definitely
super passionate about what you do and about who you are, and rightly so.
Yeah, definitely. I do think I'm just genuinely really connected to kind of that part of myself. I mean, I remember crying a lot. I cried a lot.
What was your nickname there?
Onion, my little onion, of course, always been the onion. Yeah, I think it was just maybe the pressure. Again, when I look back, I remember sort of first to second year, I was sort of always placed with like the guys from the juniors. So I think to come from like this tiny little dance school in the middle of nowhere to then be like, oh, you're actually like quite good and you've kind of got like this potential, but we're going to shove you with all these people that have been doing this for like past 5 years. And, you know, we were thrown into class with third years, like tap, we were with the third and second years. So I think it was just a lot of pressure that I didn't know how to handle at that time. And you're completely correct. Huge perfectionist. I think that never really truly leaves you, but definitely learned to love that part of myself. And also throughout my career, there is no perfection, like that just doesn't exist. You know, like you just have to learn and you will learn the hard way, especially being a swing. You never have a perfect show. It just doesn't happen. So I think definitely now I'm at a stage that can slightly go out the door a little bit, you know, and just kind of be like, what I have to give is good enough. And that's that, you know, and it will always be good enough. But it's a blessing and curse. That's why we do what we do, because we are perfectionists and we can take it to that level, but equally it's a blessing and a curse at the same time.
If you could speak to yourself about that perfectionism now, from when you were, say, first year, second year, and you were going into those tap classes, for example, with the vertical streaming, so what advice would you give yourself? Because so many of my students still have this now and they put this immense pressure on themselves.
It's a very good question.
Why, thank you.
I think, let me think about this. So the outcome is always going to be the same, whether you put your pressure on yourself or not. But actually, the pressure is not aiding you. Like logically, the pressure is simply not helping you. It's not your friend, you know. And there are some times where a small bit of pressure absolutely might excel you a little bit more. But generally, you're actually just hindering yourself from reaching your full potential. So probably just like even slowing down and like not being afraid to ask questions and not being afraid to have a voice. Because when I think back, I remember in Needham's class, we'd like be in the lines. The first students would be at the end. So you had time to like pick it up, get it in your brain. But I remember being so scared to even like open my voice. But actually now I wouldn't do that. I'd be happy to ask questions and happy to kind of admit that I don't know what I'm doing or I need help with this. And I think that was for me, the upset came from because I couldn't like get it out. I couldn't speak. You know, I felt like I couldn't maybe say. So that's how it kind of came out rather than just actually being confident to kind of ask for help or say, actually, you know, I don't have this. Can we just spend 5 minutes on that? And also like there is a bit of hard work involved, I think, of like, I don't have this. I don't have it today. Let me take it away. And I need to spend time on that on my own time so that I feel confident to come back into the room and show that I can do that. I just need a bit of time, you know, whatever it is.
When was it you think you found your voice?
I think I have always had it. I think I've always been somewhere not afraid to kind of speak my mind. I'm certainly like what you see is what you get, I think. But probably just as I've gotten more confident, and that's been with being in the industry and reaching milestones for myself. It's maybe not a healthy thing. I'd be interested to challenge that with myself, but you know, where I've got these points of succession for myself, where I've been like, okay, you've achieved this. So like, that's what I thought in my mind was success, you know, when I was younger. So like we've achieved that now. So you've kind of earned that confidence in that way to be like, you belong here and you are valuable and you are worthy of those jobs. Yeah, probably those
crazy
things.
Though, isn't it, really? You've been cast for a job and it takes for you to go and do the job to think that you're worthy rather than go, yeah, I've been cast for it.
Oh, 100%, 100%. And I think that's just because we're told no so many times. I think it's just the constant rejection, which is just part of your industry and just the way it is. And while those things are completely true, there is no other world in which you face rejection so much.
No, I agree.
Even in, you know, any job, of course, people face rejection, but not literally on a daily basis, potentially, if you're auditioning a lot. And that I think is, yeah, just very difficult to kind of keep the confidence, keep everything like turning, to keep moving forward.
What strategies do you have for those rejections? What do you implement?
So step one, feel the feels. It's fine to be upset. Like you don't need to put on a brave face. You're going to be upset, especially when you get no, especially when you get a no long way down the line and you've already envisioned the next year of your life doing that job. That's just inevitable. So kind of feeling the feels and letting myself kind of be sad and upset about it and understanding why I'm upset about it. Am I upset because I really wanted the job? Am I upset because I don't feel successful? Am I upset because like finding the why? Like, is it the job or is it just that my ego's maybe slightly bruised from the no? no.
I love the finding the why. I think that is brilliant advice.
Yeah, because that can be really different things. I think sometimes we can really latch onto, oh, I didn't get that job. But actually, the truth is, did I really want to do that show? Did I really want to do that job? Or am I just, sad because my ego's been bruised because I got a no? Finding out kind of why that kind of is painful, the no, sitting with it for a while. And then again, putting the big girl pants back on and going again. Oh, that can take a day, a week, a month, whatever that is. It doesn't matter. But I always say this like to anybody that I'm teaching or students, like tenacity is literally the key word. You just have to be so tenacious. And that means we start again. And we don't go right back. We just start where we left off and we just kind of carry on moving up the ladder. But, there is a part of it that just got to keep knocking on the doors and keep knocking on the windows and like something will open. So tenacity is just always so key for me. Like I love that word. It's so pivotal and important.
All right, that's it for another episode. Don't forget to comment, like and subscribe. And wherever you are on your performer's path, stay safe and sane and let your creative light shine bright on whatever you do.